4 surprising things that shrink your brain after 65. Stop them now. Prevent mental decline with science-based lifestyle changes. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Or maybe you've misplaced your keys, then found them in the refrigerator? It happens to all of us from time to time, but if it's been happening more often lately, you might have started to wonder, is this just aging, or something more serious? Now, here's the good news. While it's true that our brains go through changes as we age, science has also shown that many of the things we once thought were just part of getting older are actually preventable. Yes, preventable. That means you're not helpless. You're not stuck. And you're certainly not doomed to mental decline just because you've hit a certain age. In fact, there are specific lifestyle habits, some that might seem harmless or even normal, that can quietly shrink your brain over time. And the worst part? You might be doing them every day without even realizing they're taking a toll on your memory, your focus, and your independence. So in today's video, we're going to shine a light on 4 surprising things that shrink your brain after 65. And more importantly, we'll talk about how you can stop them, starting today, with simple, practical changes that make a big difference over time. Let's start with something many people don't even connect to brain health: sitting. That's right, sitting too much. Think about it. As we get older, it becomes more tempting to rest more. You might sit through breakfast, move to the couch, then watch TV after lunch, and before you know it, most of your day has been spent in a chair. It feels comfortable in the moment, but inside your brain, something else is happening. Research from UCLA showed that people over 60 who sit for long periods of time have thinner regions in their brains, specifically in areas related to memory. That means the more time you spend sitting, the more likely you are to lose the brain volume that helps you stay sharp, recall information, and even regulate your emotions. And we're not talking about marathon Netflix sessions. Just sitting for a few hours at a time without moving around can already start having an effect. But the fix is surprisingly simple. You don't need to join a gym or run a marathon. Just getting up every 30 to 60 minutes and walking around the house or stretching your arms and legs can help get your blood flowing. Your brain loves movement. It thrives on it. So, stand while you talk on the phone, take a quick stroll after meals, or even dance to your favorite song in the living room. Your brain will thank you. Now, while we're on the topic of things you do at home, let's talk about something that hides in plain sight: processed sugar. I'm not talking about the occasional cookie or a slice of birthday cake. I'm talking about the sugar that sneaks its way into your morning cereal, your healthy yogurt, and even that slice of white bread at lunch. Here's what most people don't realize. High sugar intake doesn't just affect your waistline, it messes with your brain. In fact, studies have found that diets high in sugar can lead to inflammation and impaired communication between brain cells. Over time, this can lead to memory loss, brain fog, and even increase your risk of Alzheimer's disease. You might think, but I don't eat that much sugar. And maybe you don't. But here's a little trick. Check the labels on your packaged foods. You'll be amazed at where sugar hides. From pasta sauces to crackers to salad dressings, it's everywhere. And if the ingredient list includes words like corn syrup, maltose, fructose, or anything ending in ose, that's sugar in disguise. Now, nobody's saying you have to give up sweets entirely. Life is meant to be enjoyed. But cutting back just a little, swapping soda for sparkling water, choosing whole fruits instead of fruit juice, or reaching for nuts instead of cookies, can help protect your brain from long-term damage. And it's not just about protection. Many people notice that within a week or two of reducing sugar, their mental clarity improves, their mood lifts, and their sleep gets better. That brings us to another sneaky brain shrinker: poor sleep. And I'm not just talking about how long you sleep, but how well you sleep. As we age, many people find their sleep becomes lighter or more interrupted. Maybe you're waking up more often, tossing and turning, or struggling to fall asleep in the first place. It might not seem like a big deal. After all, it's just a few hours of lost rest, right? But here's the kicker. Your brain depends on deep sleep to clean itself. Literally. During deep sleep, your brain flushes out toxins, some of which are linked to memory loss and dementia. When you don't get enough deep sleep, those toxins build up. It's like going a day without brushing your teeth, but for your brain. One easy way to improve sleep? Start by creating a bedtime routine. Avoid screens an hour before bed, keep your room dark and cool, and try going to sleep and waking up at the same time every day. It sounds simple, but it sends powerful signals to your body and brain that it's time to rest and heal. So we've covered sitting, sugar, and sleep, and all three are things we do every single day. But the real magic starts to happen when we become aware of these habits. When we start to shift them gently in a healthier direction. You don't have to make massive changes overnight. Even the smallest tweaks, standing more, choosing smarter snacks, setting a bedtime, can build a foundation for a healthier, sharper brain as the years go by. Let's keep this momentum going, because we're not done yet. There's one more habit that surprises almost everyone, and it could be silently affecting your brain even if you feel perfectly fine. Even if you're feeling fine and functioning well, this next brain-shrinking culprit can sneak in under the radar: isolation. Yes, being alone too much. Now, before we dive in, let's be clear. Enjoying solitude isn't a bad thing. A quiet morning with a cup of coffee, reading a good book, or sitting peacefully in the garden. Those moments are beautiful. They're nourishing. But when being alone turns into prolonged isolation, days without meaningful interaction, no real conversations, no laughter shared, that's when it begins to chip away at more than just your mood. It starts to change your brain. Scientists have found that chronic loneliness is as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But here's where it gets more serious. It also physically changes the structure of the brain. Specifically, it affects the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, the areas responsible for memory and decision-making. And the more isolated we become, the more these areas shrink. Now think about that for a moment. The brain actually shrinks when it's not being socially stimulated. That's why people who maintain strong social ties, whether it's with family, friends, or even neighbors, tend to stay sharper longer. Social interaction keeps the brain active. It challenges you to recall names, respond to emotions, follow conversations, and share your thoughts, all of which act like a workout for your mind. But what if you don't have a big social circle? What if the kids are busy, friends have moved away, or you're just naturally more of an introvert? That's okay. You don't need a crowd. One or two meaningful connections can make all the difference. Maybe it's joining a local walking group, chatting with someone at your favorite cafe, volunteering once a week, or even calling an old friend just to catch up. These moments of connection, no matter how small, create mental sparks that keep your brain strong and resilient. And speaking of resilience, let's talk about one more surprising habit that might be quietly shrinking your brain: chronic stress. We often think of stress as something we've just learned to live with. Bills, aches and pains, family challenges. It can all pile up. But here's the issue. When stress becomes a daily state, it floods your body with a hormone called cortisol. In small doses, cortisol helps us survive. But in high amounts, over time, it becomes toxic to the brain. High cortisol levels have been linked to memory loss, anxiety, and, you guessed it, brain shrinkage. Specifically, it wears down the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for forming new memories and learning new things. So if you're waking up already feeling tense, going to bed with a mind racing through worries, or constantly feeling overwhelmed, even if you hide it well, that stress is doing more harm than you think. The solution. It's not about eliminating stress completely. That's just not realistic. But we can change how we respond to it. And that starts with finding small moments of calm in your day. Maybe it's taking 5 minutes in the morning to stretch and breathe deeply. Maybe it's sitting outside in the sun with your eyes closed, listening to the birds. Or journaling your thoughts to release the mental clutter. And here's something powerful: gratitude. Writing down just 3 things you're thankful for every day, even something as simple as a good cup of tea, can shift your brain out of stress and into calm. It's been proven to reduce cortisol and increase activity in the brain's reward centers. In other words, it helps reverse the damage stress has done. Now, think about this. We've just explored 4 everyday things: sitting too much, eating too much sugar, poor sleep, isolation, and chronic stress. Each of them, in their own way, can quietly shrink your brain if left unchecked. But none of them are beyond your control. That's the most empowering part. These are things you can do something about today. You don't need to do everything all at once. Choose just one to focus on. Maybe tomorrow, you stand up and stretch during your favorite TV show. Maybe you swap your sugary cereal for something more brain-friendly. Maybe you pick up the phone and call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Or maybe you try a short breathing exercise before bed to help your mind unwind. Whatever it is, that one small step can lead to another, and another. Before you know it, you've created a lifestyle that not only protects your brain, but helps it grow, adapt, and stay sharp, even into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. And here's something I want you to remember. Your brain is always listening. Every healthy choice you make, every habit you build, every moment of joy and connection, it all leaves a footprint. A positive one. One that shapes the way you think, feel, and remember the world around you. You are not powerless in this. You are not at the mercy of time or statistics. You are capable of creating change at any age. That's not a slogan, it's science. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire and grow, doesn't stop after 60. It doesn't stop after 70. As long as you're alive and engaged, your brain is still growing. And that brings us to one final piece of the puzzle. One powerful habit that ties all of this together and can act like a daily vitamin for your mind and memory. There's one more surprising habit that quietly chips away at your brain, even when you feel perfectly fine, and it's something most of us never think about: letting your days slip into monotony. You might wake up, follow your usual routine, go about your tasks, and at the end of the day feel, well, that was the same as yesterday. That sameness might sound comforting, but it's actually starving your brain of the novelty it craves. Imagine a garden that never sees new seeds or fresh watering. Over time, it grows stale, with soil that no longer supports vibrant life. Your brain works much the same way. When you stick to the same habits, the same conversations, the same mental patterns, the neural pathways you use reinforce themselves, while other pathways weaken and shrink. In neuroscience, this use it or lose it principle is crystal clear. New challenges sprout new connections. Repetition without novelty lets parts of your brain fall dormant. So how do you bring fresh life to your mental garden? It doesn't require grand adventures or expensive courses. Small acts of novelty build big benefits. Try taking a different route on your daily walk. Learn a new recipe from a cuisine you've never tasted. Pick up a simple craft: painting a pebble, folding origami, or planting a new flower in your garden. Even listening to a music genre you've never explored can spark new brain activity. The key is to let yourself feel that gentle spark of unfamiliarity. Your mind lights up when it's given a puzzle to ponder. There's something deeply human about learning, discovering, and being curious. As Dr. Michael Merzenich, one of the pioneers of brain plasticity, says, the brain always wants to adapt, to grow, to meet new challenges. And when it does, it maintains its volume and vitality. So each time you learn that new chess move, try that smartphone app, or even memorize a poem you love, you're actively nourishing your brain. Now, before we close, let's take a moment to weave all of this together. We've uncovered 4 surprising things that quietly shrink your brain after 65. Long stretches of sitting, hidden sugars that spark inflammation, prolonged isolation that dulls mental connections, and the comfort of monotony that lets neural pathways atrophy. But here's the truly empowering news. Each of these habits can be reversed with simple, science-based lifestyle tweaks. Maybe tomorrow you'll stand up every half hour, spin your arms overhead, or dance to a tune you love. Maybe you'll swap that sweetened yogurt for a handful of nuts and fresh berries. Maybe you'll call a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or join a small local group to share stories and laughter. And maybe you'll surprise yourself by signing up for an online class or trying a new hobby that sparks your curiosity. These changes don't have to happen all at once. Pick one you feel ready to tackle, and let that success build your confidence for the next. With each step, you're not just preserving brain volume, you're enriching your life with movement, connection, challenge, and joy. If today's conversation struck a chord with you, I'd love to hear about it. Which of these surprising habits do you recognize in your own routine? What's one small change you'll try this week? Drop your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Your experience might encourage someone else to take that first step. And if you found value here, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. We're all about practical, uplifting insights to help you live smarter, healthier, and more vibrantly at every age. Remember, your brain is a living, breathing part of you. It thrives on movement, good fuel, connections, novelty, and the sense that life still holds surprises. Treat it with the care it deserves, and it will reward you with clarity, memory, and the joy of discovery, well into your golden years. Here's to celebrating every new step, every fresh idea, and every bright memory yet to be made. Keep exploring, stay curious, and rest assured that you have the power to shape your brain's future, one simple habit at a time.